Hello and welcome to This One Thing, a daily devotional brought to you by First Presbyterian Church of Fort Lauderdale. My name is Simeon Rogers, and I am a seminarian at Pittsburgh Theological Seminary and an inquirer through the Presbytery of Tropical Florida, sponsored by FPC Fort Lauderdale. This one thing focuses on, you got it, just one thing from the scriptures we can chew on, maybe struggle with, and draw strength from throughout our day. Before we get to the reading, though, I'd like to pose just one question. What do you think God has to do with plastic children's toys? It seems like an odd question because it is, but bear with me because it'll make sense in just a little bit. Today's reading comes from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 27, verses 32 through 44. Here we see the story of Simon of Cyrene, who has a memorable and unique interaction with Jesus on his way to crucifixion. We pick up just after Jesus has been beaten and terribly bloodied by the Roman guard and had eventually lost his strength to carry the cross on his own. Now we know from scripture that Jesus could have called 10,000 angels to carry the cross for him if he wished, but that's not what happens at all. Instead, he allows the Roman guard to compel a bystander named Simon of Cyrene to carry it for him. It's a simple interaction with no words exchanged that we can tell from scripture, but I can't help but think that something like that would have been no less than life-changing. What do you think? Scripture tells us in 2 Corinthians that one died for all, so that all may live for the one. And we also know that as the church, we are the hands and feet of Jesus. It is a basic Christian understanding of following Christ that we would take part in his work. Now let me pause here and go back to where we started. Plastic children's tools. About that. There's a way of understanding God that I have come to identify with thoroughly, which helps me make sense of it all. Close your eyes for a second and envision this scene. Imagine a father who is working on the family car, who invites his 4-year-old son to come help out, reminding him not to forget to bring his tools for the job. As the screen door slams shut, the father looks up to see his pride and joy waddling down the steps with an oversized tool belt from Dad's thinner years, just barely hanging to his thin frame, but packed to the brim with what would appear to be useless plastic children's tools. Hammers and screwdrivers, a plastic fork, and even a rubber over-easy egg gets pulled out as the son, with every air of seriousness, prepares to go to work with Dad. Dad, in a mixture of chuckles and pride and delight, points out what needs to be done, allowing the plastic hammer to tap away at the bumper as if it were actually doing something. It's a beautiful picture of a father who understands and delights in the relationship that is being furthered through the work being done. The father knows that the son lacks the tools, the resources, the knowledge, and the strength to handle things like fixing the family car on his own. Yet the invitation was not to fix the car, but to take part in the process itself. Something happened in that process. The son felt validated, cherished, seen, and appreciated, and in turn grew in relationship with the father, and over the years grew to learn what his father knew about cars and about relationships. Although we do not know for certain how Simon of Cyrene lived his life from the pivotal moment where he was allowed to literally bear the cross of Christ for him, I believe the greater question here is this one thing. How are we experiencing the cross that we bear as followers of Christ? Is it just a burden? Have we traded the joy of relationship as fallible, ever-growing children of God for anything else? How can we rekindle the zeal of knowing God and being known by God so that we can invite others into that community? As you go throughout your day and think about what it means to carry your cross, I hope that you will feel validated, cherished, seen, and appreciated, and that you will grow in your trust of the God who has called you for such a time as this. Now go in peace, children of God.